Hello everyone. Well, good afternoon. Here we are cooking with Gigi again. I have found that I have these huge peppers that I need to use that are from my garden. They are shaped a little, long, so you can't set them up in a dish. I have 3 of them here. Excuse Bella's barking. She seems to be worked up today. She's looking out the window at people walking by. So I have washed my peppers. And I've taken 3 because I'm gonna open them up. I'm going to cut them this way, clean them out, and I'm gonna lay them on their side and fill them with a chicken mixture. So we're gonna make stuffed peppers with chicken. So it's chicken stuffed peppers. So I'm gonna get those all cleaned up and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm putting the camera down so you can see that. You can see how I've cut this open. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this all up and we're gonna stuff the chicken in the side of this pepper. So you're just gonna go in here and take out the stem, first of all. Try not to take any more of the pepper than you have to. Just take the stem out, like so. Then you're gonna take your pepper and see where it lays the best maybe. And I'm just gonna cut it and I'm gonna try to get it right down the middle. So I have the same amount on each side, like so. Okay, I'll continue to get these ready. Just please take notice that I am making sure to get as much of that rib out of there as I can. You don't really want all that thick rib in your green pepper or red pepper, whatever pepper you're using. I'm just kind of cleaning it all up. When I get this done, I'm gonna take it over to my sink and I'm gonna rinse it off with cold water to get all the seeds out. Make sure that they're nice and clean and ready to be stuffed. Okay, so I have my peppers all washed, cleaned, ready to go. I'm putting them in a 9x13 pan. I've put about a half a cup of water in the pan. I have my oven on 350. I'm gonna take some foil and I'm gonna kind of tint the foil up over, cover the peppers, put that in the oven. I want my peppers to cook just a little before I'm ready to stuff them because I like my peppers tender, and since the chicken that I'm gonna put in there is going to be rotisserie chicken, it's already cooked. So we don't wanna cook it to death, make your chicken tough. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in the oven for maybe 20 minutes. After that, I'll take them out and I will stuff them. Okay, well, while the peppers are in there softening up, I'm gonna go ahead and make the filling. So I'm starting with my 4 ounces of cream cheese. To the cream cheese, I'm going to add a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Okay, now I have made this before with that salsa verde, the green stuff, but I don't have any. So I'm gonna use my regular salsa that I did can myself. I made some salsa last year. I haven't used it all up yet. So I'm gonna wing it and be flexible like I've told you, and I'm gonna add some of this salsa that I had canned. I need 1 teaspoon of paprika. So we'll get 1 teaspoon of that. Put that in. So it's pretty cold out there today. I'm telling you, I went out and got my hair colored. It's not quite as light because the sun had really lightened it up. 1 teaspoon. We need a half a teaspoon of this onion powder. I hope I can get it open. Sometimes it's kind of stubborn. All right, half a teaspoon of that, of the onion powder. I use a lot of onion powder because I'm always running out. Okay, there's that. So we have all of that in the bowl. I'm just gonna take my wooden spoon. Thank you, Mom. I love my wooden spoon that I got from you, that you've used, and so have I. And I'm just gonna mix all that up. We're gonna mix this up until it's pretty much thoroughly blended together, creamed together with the cheese and all the yummy stuff, spices. And then we're gonna add our chicken to this. 4 cups of shredded chicken. Again, I went to Sam's today for $4.98. I did get a rotisserie chicken. Sometimes I share that with Bella. Whatever's left, I'll save for her, and I'll put in little bags and put it in the freezer. And I try to interject that into her meals because she loves the chicken. But I'm going to use a big bunch of it today to stuff in those peppers. Okay, so see how it's looking there? Pretty creamy. Now, if we were using that verde, it would have a different color. It looks a little orange because we're using my salsa. All right, I'm gonna grab the chicken that I've already shredded. I have it right over here on the counter. Forgot to bring it over. Here's my chicken that I shredded from my rotisserie chicken. You can't hardly beat it. It's so easy. Just take it off the bones, and it's got great flavor, yummy broth in there. And I usually try to put that broth on the chicken for Bella when I freeze it so that when I warm it up, it's nice and moist. Okay, so now I'm just going ahead and I'm stirring all of this up. Getting it nice and make sure the chicken's pretty shredded. I had already shredded it pretty good. So now we have the chicken and all those ingredients, 4 ounces of cream cheese, half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, a half a cup of my salsa. You can use whatever kind you want. A teaspoon of paprika and a half a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm gonna check my peppers and see where we are with that. Okay, before we move on, I am gonna add some salt and pepper. I like my pepper. So I'm gonna put about 1/4 a teaspoon, maybe more like an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper in there. And then about 1/4 a teaspoon of salt. Let's not forget that cheese is very salty, so we want to make sure we don't put too much salt. My theory is you can always add more later. Don't add too much to begin with. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that all up in there. So I did go out to my yard and I picked some chives, fresh chives, and just a little bit of parsley. I don't want too much. I just want a little bit. Normally, I would put scallions or those little onions, sweet onions. I would put those in this dish. I don't have any. So again, I'm just gonna try something a little bit different. So I'm gonna chop this up. Sounds like my oven's ready. I'll turn that timer off. We'll chop these up real quick and then I'll get those peppers out of the oven. So I'm just gonna use my wonderful knife to chop these up a little bit. Get these ready to go into my dish, along with also with parsley. So I'm going to take those out of the oven. I don't want them to get too soft. Okay, so I do have my fresh herbs in there, the parsley and the chives. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot. Just add a little bit more flavor. I like to wing it sometimes and do what I want to do. That's what most cooks that do a lot of cooking tend to do. Okay, so we have those all in there. And the peppers are here on the counter. They're ready for me to fill. They're a little warm. We'll see if I can do it without burning myself here. All right, they're pretty good sized peppers. So I'll just take a spoon and a spatula. And I'm gonna bend it down a little so you can see really good what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So I'll just start filling out the peppers, pushing the chicken down into the pepper, okay? I think I need just a little bit more on that one. When we get them all filled, if we have any left, we can just add to them, but we wanna make sure we have enough for all of these peppers. Now, you know, if I was buying these peppers, I would probably go ahead and get some yellow, orange, red to also add to it possibly. But, you know, I wanted to be thrifty and I want to use my peppers that I grew. They were really turned out big and pretty. It's the end of the season, so I probably won't be getting very many more. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do with a bunch of my jalapeno peppers. I'll probably make some stuffed peppers, clean some. My friend Becky says that she cleans hers and she cuts them as though she's gonna use them, and then she just lets them get good and dry and then freezes them. And she can use them on another time, which I wasn't sure if that would even work because I didn't know how they'd be, but because I've never done that. But I bet I'll do it this year. I need to figure that out. Don't want to waste. It seems like the peppers always tend to do pretty good for me no matter, what I'm growing. The other things may not do well, but the peppers tend to hang in there and do pretty good. So I have quite a bit of chicken here. I need to go ahead and try to use it all up. I'm gonna try to stuff it in these. Let's see. This one could use a little bit more. Oh, look what I found. I'm glad I found that. It's a little bone. I thought I did pretty good cleaning out my rotisserie chicken. Apparently I missed one. I'm glad I found it. Gotta be careful with those bones. You don't want to choke on one. For sure. Now, once I get these all filled up, I am going to put some cheddar cheese on top. I'm going to put it back in the oven at 350, and we're going to put actually that foil that I had on it to begin with is going to go back over it. Okay, I think I have that about all ready to go. Okay, so this is how they look when I need the hot pads, so it's a little warm yet. When you have them filled up, before you put the cheese on, this is what they look like. I kind of went around and smeared it around in the green pepper to make sure it was in there nice and even. Now on top, you probably could use whatever cheese you want, but I'm gonna stick with the cheddar cheese. I'm gonna put quite a bit of cheddar cheese on. It calls for just a little, but I always kind of overdo things because that's the way I am. When Janet does something, she really does it. So, like I play pickleball just about every day if there's a way to do it. If there's something open for me to go to, I love playing. And cooking, you can see I get a little carried away with that because I like to do it. I can make a little bit of jewelry, and I try to make my jewelry to match my clothes. So I kind of do that. So I just kind of, I don't know, I've always been that way. I like to do something, I want to do it right. I think my dad kind of instilled that in me. Like when I would go to work, I would always try to be right on time, never late. And I don't think I ever was, hardly ever. Tried not to call in. This is a Joe Vansel thing. He kind of beat that into me. You do what you say you're gonna do. You do what you say you're gonna do. And the other thing is, you've heard me say this from Joe, plain talk is easy understood, and then I always like to throw in there, but you can be kind. All right, here we go. Stuffed chicken peppers, or chicken stuffed peppers, however you want to say it. I'm going to put these in the oven, and we'll see how I'll taste them when they come out. By the way, we're going to bake those. Whew, look what the oven does. We're gonna bake those for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm just gonna keep an eye on them and see how they look once the cheese gets good and melted and the filling looks a little bit bubbly, because I did, take care of the peppers. I cooked them a little bit right before. You really don't have to do that if you like your peppers a little crispy. I just like mine more tender. Okay, we're back with Cooking with Gigi. So, my chicken stuffed peppers are done. Check them out. They're still kind of sizzling. Wow. I did put a little bit of the fresh herbs on top. Okay, so I'm going to put part of one on the plate. I do have some of my beets that I canned. Becky had too many beets. She shared a big bowl of beets with me, so I canned 7 jars of beets, and I have not tasted them yet. So I decided that it would look really pretty with this dish. I'm going to go ahead and take maybe one of the smaller stuffed peppers out. I'm not wanting a lot for lunch, but I haven't had lunch or breakfast yet. So there it is. And I'll move this over just a little bit so I can bring it over here. Okay, we're gonna give this a bite. All right, I want you to see how that looks on the plate. You want it, what I did do is I baked that for about 20 minutes covered with foil, and then I took the foil off and turned on the oven to broil for about 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm gonna give this a cut here. It's still pretty hot. I might have to let it cool just a little bit before I take the bite. But anyway, while I'm letting that cool a minute, this was my day off. Like I said, I got my hair colored, and then I went and picked out some stain. My friend John came and helped me, and we went to Menards, found some stain for my deck. I had a deck built, and if you know me, you've probably seen that on my Facebook. So I need to get that deck all stained up. And it's always helpful to have a fella along to help you. I was trying to match it up with the poles of my gazebo. So anyway, I'm gonna blow on this, and hopefully it's pretty steamy. You can see how it looks. I'm a little afraid I'm gonna burn my mouth. I took too big of a bite. So anyway, I had some second thoughts after I put this in the oven. I thought, wouldn't it have been good to maybe take in some panko or some like Ritz crackers crumbs and add a little butter to it and sprinkle it over the top. I mean, it's good this way, it's delicious. But I love the different textures when you get a little bit of a topping, or even if you have some potato chip crumbs that are left over in the bottom of your bag, you could do that. I do love stuffed peppers, and when I make my ground beef stuffed peppers, I don't use rice. I use riced cauliflower because it's less calories. There's no carbs, and or very few carbs. But anyway, so that tastes really good, and I like to freeze them when I do it, but I do try to use the colored peppers when I do that. I will do that for you sometime in a show. Well, let's see. They smell good. I'm going to try my beets. I'll let you know how they turned out. Wow. I do like beets. I know a lot of people probably don't, but these are kind of sweet. They are really good. Well, this has been fun. I mean, I've never really done stuffed peppers with chicken. This was my first time. I thought I would just try these different things. Kind of mocked some other things that I do. So we have here is the chicken stuffed peppers with cheese, cream cheese, seasonings. Delicious. Thank you again for tuning in to Cooking with Gigi on this cold day in Lafayette, Indiana. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Have a great day.